The dazzling lights illuminated the set of the Great American Debate, where millions of viewers across the nation were glued to their screens. Tonight was no ordinary debate. It was a cultural and political spectacle. On one side stood Caroline Leavitt, the youngest White House press secretary and rising conservative star known for her quick wit and data-driven arguments. On the other, global music icon Taylor Swift, entering the political arena for the first time, bringing with her an ocean of fans and a voice that had long championed progressive causes. The host, a seasoned journalist with a charismatic presence, took center stage. Welcome to a historic night. Our topics tonight: education, gun control, immigration, and a final round of audience questions. The crowd roared as the camera panned across supporters from both camps, creating a buzz that rivaled a championship boxing match. Taylor Swift stepped forward first. Dressed in a radiant white gown that sparkled under the lights, she exuded grace, but also resolve. Her voice carried the weight of someone deeply passionate about justice. Education is the backbone of a free society. I've met students burdened by debt, teachers lacking resources, and schools struggling. We need universal access to quality education, increased teacher pay, and student loan reform. Her message was greeted with thunderous applause, especially from younger audience members waving signs that read "Swift for Students." Caroline Levit, dressed in a sharp blue suit, rose with the ease of a seasoned political fighter. She was confident and poised. "Taylor, I admire your passion, but passion doesn't fund schools. Under President Trump, we expanded school choice and vocational training, real paths to success. Public school funding increased in key districts, and test scores rose. That's not a dream. That's data." Some in the audience nodded in agreement, and MAGA hats were visible bobbing approvingly. Swift appeared momentarily surprised but held her composure as murmurs of approval spread across the conservative side of the audience. As the lights dimmed to a somber blue, signaling the shift to the topic of gun control, Swift's expression turned heavy. She took a deep breath, clearly feeling the emotional weight of the subject. "I've met families shattered by gun violence. We need universal background checks, red flag laws, and bans on assault weapons. This isn't about taking rights. It's about saving lives." The audience responded with murmurs and applause, with some tearing up. A young girl in the front row held up a sign that read, "Books, not bullets." Levitt stood firm, her face steeled with conviction. Every tragedy is heartbreaking, but let's be clear, criminals don't follow laws. We need enforcement, not more regulation. President Trump backed funding for school security and mental health programs, real deterrence, not slogans. Applause erupted from conservatives. She continued, "Our Constitution matters. We defend the Second Amendment while making communities safer." Swift requested a rebuttal, her voice brimming with urgency. "What about the children? Is protecting guns more important than protecting lives?" Levitt did not hesitate. "It's not either/or, Taylor. It's about smart laws and real enforcement, not bans that hurt lawful citizens." Then came immigration. A short video played, showing borders, families, workers, and communities built by immigrants. Swift began with palpable empathy. "America's story is one of immigration. We need a pathway to citizenship, humane border policies, and protections for dreamers. These are people contributing to our country who deserve dignity and hope." Her words resonated across the auditorium, especially among younger, more progressive viewers who cheered with enthusiasm. Levitt didn't miss a beat. Legal immigration built this nation. But open borders don't. Trump's policies reduced illegal crossings and boosted security. He supported merit-based immigration and faster legal pathways. "We don't oppose immigration. We want it done legally and safely." Swift fired back. Families were separated. Children were held in cages. "We must be better." Levitt's response was swift and precise. "Those facilities existed before Trump. And reuniting families while securing our borders is the balance we must strike." Emotion is powerful, Taylor, but solutions require structure. The final round invited questions from the audience. A young woman in a Swiftie for Change shirt stood. Miss Swift, how can pop culture bridge political divides? Swift smiled warmly, her voice filled with hope. Music brings people together. I want politics to do the same, to listen, empathize, and unite. I've seen millions from all walks of life sing along to my songs. We can use that power to break barriers. Applause thundered as fans cheered, holding up signs like, "Unity through music." Levitt responded with respect, but a clear distinction. Music inspires, but policy leads. I respect Taylor's impact, but unity comes from job creation, safety, and opportunity, not just lyrics. Pop culture can inspire moments, but government must deliver results. The next question came from a middle-aged man in a MAGA hat. Miss Levitt, how does the administration protect workers from liberal policies like the Green New Deal? Levitt saw this as a golden opportunity. Thank you for the great question. Trump's administration protects workers by prioritizing energy independence and cutting stifling regulations. The Green New Deal, which Ms. Swift supports, could raise electricity prices by 30% per the American Energy Institute, burdening workers. We boosted oil and gas production, created over 10 million jobs, and kept fuel prices stable. That's real protection for American families. Swift stood in response, her eyes showing slight tension but her resolve intact. Caroline, I understand you want to protect jobs, but clean energy creates millions of new jobs too. I've met young activists and scientists who say we have to act now for our planet. Levitt rebutted with sharp clarity. Taylor, clean energy jobs often pay less than those in oil and gas. Did the scientists you met explain how we overhaul the economy without hurting the very workers you want to protect? Or did they just sing anti-hero to ease the tension? The audience burst into laughter. Even some of Swift's fans chuckled, though she blushed slightly, caught off guard again. The final question was from a neutral young woman. What do both of you think about women's roles in politics? Swift answered emotionally. Women need to be heard from the stage to the White House. I want young girls to see they can change the world. Levitt followed with composure. Taylor, I agree. But women don't just need a stage, they need action. I'm here, the youngest press secretary in history, proving that women can lead with truth, not just emotion. The debate ended in roaring applause. The crowd erupted as if they had just witnessed a political Super Bowl. Levitt stood confident, dubbed by online supporters as the Swift Slayer. Swift walked off stage to supportive hugs, praised for her courage and heart. On social media, the division was sharp. Hashtag Levitt crushes Swift trended among conservatives while liberals pushed hashtag Taylor speaks truth. Media outlets reflected the same split. Fox News hailed Levitt's command of the facts and her sharp comebacks. CNN praised Swift's heart and message, noting her bravery in stepping into such a hostile arena. That night, Swift posted on Instagram with a photo of her on stage. Tonight I stood for education, safety, and dignity. I may not have won every argument, but I learned. I'll be back, stronger and smarter. Thank you for listening. The post garnered millions of likes with fans praising her courage and authenticity. Levitt, meanwhile, appeared at a White House press briefing the next day in her signature blue suit. When asked about the debate, she smiled. Taylor Swift was a formidable opponent, and I respect her for stepping up. But politics needs more than courage. It needs clarity, conviction, and facts. The Great American Debate became more than a television event. It symbolized the cultural and ideological divide of a nation. But it also hinted at a possible convergence, one where emotion meets data, culture meets policy, and two very different voices push America toward a more thoughtful dialogue. The country may be divided, but the need to listen, challenge, and grow remains universal. Two women, two visions, one stage. And a future still waiting to be written.